Welcome to the Quarter Pound Podcast. It's your hosts, Gib and Seb. Sebs. Didn't know my own fucking name for a second. Yeah, my mic keeps falling. And let me know if it ever goes out at one point.
Will do.
It just keeps fucking falling down. Yeah, we're breaking down UFC Rochester today. RDA versus Kevin Lee. Fucking bomb fight. What do you think of that fight, Gib?
That's good, especially off of both their last fights. But
yeah, RDA lost to pretty much the champ and Kamaru Usman, and then the interim, or you could call him interim or whatever you want, the number one contender in Colby Covington, right?
I think the Neil Magny fight would have been a little bit better for Vicente Luque, but I mean, still not a bad card.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Obviously, fighting a top 15 guy like Luque deserves it and everything, but he's just fun all the time, so it doesn't matter. It's gonna be good with him. And Krantz is fucking fun too, to be honest. Yeah, but we got a pretty good card. We're gonna run through this one. Not a lot of time today. I want to get this out rather quickly. If you see the new name of the thing, Gip, so I'm putting a timer on us. We only have 5 minutes.
All right.
To break down each fight, and that's what we're gonna do from now on, anyways.
Okay.
Just so we don't ramble on for 20 minutes. We got 5 minutes. Because have you ever watched Pardon the Interruption?
Oh yeah.
On ESPN, they have the timer.
So they can just keep going.
They just fucking run through it, and then so they go through a bunch of topics. So that's what we're gonna do.
All right.
I'll let you decide this. Should we do 5 minutes each? Because that's gonna be 5 times 13 probably, right?
Yeah.
5 times 13, 10 times 3. Yeah, that's way too long. We can't do that. We got to go 5 minutes together.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, so pretty much 2.5 minutes each.
All right.
Just a really quick breakdown on both fights, what you like from them, and who's gonna win, and then if you like any of them for DraftKings or anything like that. Okay, so first up on the docket. Fucking really banking first fight too. They put Julio Arce and Julian Erosa. Arce, really good striker in my opinion. Comes from Tiger Schulman's. Trains with Burgos. Jimmie Rivera, who's gonna be on not is it the next card? I don't know. I think it's in. No, next card Sweden. After the UFC 238 card, and man, they're a bunch of killers at Tiger Schulman's. I really always like Antrezano, who's on this card as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I just like Julio Arce. I think Julian Rosa has a really funky way of striking. I don't like it at all. Leaves himself very open. Gets taken down very easily. I think Julian Rosa is one of the worst fighters at 145 pounds. He's just not that good, man. I can't believe he beat Jamal Emmers. I remember playing Jamal Emmers that night, and Jamal Emmers didn't wrestle him, and he ended up, I think, got knocked out. I don't remember, but pretty sure. Yeah, but I got Julio Arce all day here. I think it's just gonna put on a boxing clinic. If he chooses to grapple, it's game over too. Wherever this fight goes, Julio Arce has every advantage. So I got Arce all day here, and I got him. I got him in a 1.5 unit parlay with 3 other things in the card.
Well, like you were saying, he's good everywhere, especially on the grappling, and he wouldn't have been able to beat Dan Ige if he didn't, as well as beating a high-level striker like Daniel Tamer. Obviously, had a split decision against Shimon Moraes, got dropped in the first round, and really had to fight off his back. But still, man, this guy's putting up a lot of submission threats as well, inverted triangles, and Moraes had to kind of respect it and kind of let Arce get back up. And even when Arce's doing badly, he's looking for stuff. He's always kind of scheming, whereas Julian Erosa, the guy comes in ready for a brawl from the very start. Obviously very open stance, wants to trade with his right, and just rely on pure reflexes. Had a shoulder brush with the legend Artem Lobov, and in that fight he was a bit of a slow starter, got crazy cross counter. I think it was a big right hand that knocked him out, and his left hand is just always down to get blitzed right over the top. And I think Julian Rosa really does start to get a bit effective, especially in the second to third round when the brawls just keep starting up, and he actually starts to get a little bit more of a pace for the fight and can really go. The only problem is on some fronts like grappling or any sort of fence wrestling, Julian Rosa is kind of out of it, and a lot of the basic punches or some big right hand will definitely floor him. So I think RSA just has a lot more weapons in this one to stand up, and if it goes to the floor, I actually feel bad for Rosa here. Rosa has to keep the standing and try to keep a brawl going, but I think Julio RSA definitely takes him out.
That was fucking brilliant. We did that in like 3.5 minutes, I think.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that was really good. Good breakdown too. Fucking good job. Okay, next up, Trevin Giles. I'm looking forward to this one too. Trevin Giles and Zak Cummings. Let me start the timer. Yeah, so I think I'm probably gonna play Trevin Giles. I am gonna play Trevin Giles. I'm actually just waiting for something. I'll be playing him probably at some point during the podcast here. But fucking, I just like the kid, man. He's he was a good fighter when he was already in the UFC a couple years ago. Looked good against Broganato, right? Like didn't really have to use the ground and showed up his stand up a little bit. Really nice jab he has. He's got some good boxing, man. He's pretty good at standing up. But his to me, I think his real strength is like that cardio and how he just has that crazy pace to and really good takedowns too, man. He was taking down James Bogdanovich, I'm pretty sure it was.
Mm-hmm.
And Bogdanovich is nothing special. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, he's not that good, but Trevin Giles was getting takedowns. Like, I'm not a wrestler or anything, but like
He was coming in with only one loss on his record, though. So Trevin Giles technically started the massacre, regardless.
Yeah, exactly. Bogdanovich wasn't a super shitty fighter, anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a wrestler or anything, but I think Giles got some powerful takedowns because I didn't really see him clasp his hands together till like the very end, and he just wasn't. A lot of guys give up on that when they're going behind for the takedown, the double leg, and they'll just switch to the single leg after. He actually didn't give up. He just kept. I don't know what he did. I'm not a wrestler, but I guess he moved his arms up a bit, and he ended up clasping them together and getting the takedown of James Bogdanovich against the fence. He's got some hard ground and pound, some really fucking hard ground and pound, heavy shots, bro.
Yep.
And Zak Cummings, coming off that win, a first fight at 185 against Hot Sauce Smith. Fucking, who is Zak Cummings beat? Like, everyone's talking about, like, oh, he's only lost to like top quality fighters. Like, who is he beat, bro? Like, fucking Nathan Coy, Yakovlev, Hot Sauce Smith, like. List goes on, but Yan Cabral, like, not very good fighters this guy is beaten, right? So, he's only lost to the best, but he still lost to those guys like Ponzinibbio gave him a fucking beating.
Ponzinibbio gives everybody beating.
Yeah. But, like...
Prazeres, I thought, was a bit impressive.
Prazeres was 155 pounds, and Zak Cummings is fighting at 185. Like, that's a big size difference, bro. Pretty big fucking size difference, and... Prazeres put him down a few times, so
kills.
I got my boy Trevin Giles here. I'll be playing him for sure. I like him. I think, and he's shout out to him, bro. He stopped being a fighter for a little bit to do police academy, and now he's a cop in Houston. So shout out to Trevin Giles.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry, bro. I left you with 2 minutes.
All good. You know what? Zak Cummings, like you said, he beat Alexander Yakovlev, and. Arguably not the maybe top quality of a Santiago Ponzinibbio or a Gunnar Nelson that he's lost to, but he is able to get a nice walk down style on people who back up. For whatever reason, Zak Cummings actually tends to do pretty well when fighters are moving around and trying to bob their head, and he always tends to land as they're trying to avoid shots. Trevin Giles does miss every now and then, and when he does, he's extremely out of position, and Trevin Giles has to throw like a little light shot or a small one in order to get him back into position. He normally does land this punch, and it actually tends to do big damage, but the problem is Trevin Giles did miss a few big shots in his last fight that kind of had him on tilt, and I think in the first round he got put on the ground and he was beaten up for a while, at least until he can get back to his feet. But I mean, great defending it and getting back to that third round and pretty much punching him out, because Tevin Giles comes out slamming, throwing big overhand rights, looks to control the ground pressure pretty well, and when he is on top, he's going for he's going for arm control and throwing punches. I like that, and that ground and pound punchy kind of attitude really tends to throw people off and put Tevin Giles in a good position. He does know how to crank in rear naked chokes and arm triangles, as well as Zak Cummings. But I think Zak Cummings will be a few punches slower than Giles, and I think Giles only really needs the first round for this. So I actually think this fight can end early, and I think it'll go Tevin Giles' way.
Okay, boom, with 7 seconds to spare. All right, next up we got Pat Cummins and Ed Herman. I'm gonna leave you so much time on the clock here. Sure. I think Pat Cummins is gonna win. Ed Herman shot who is there's losses to, like, CB Dalloway, Gian Villante.
Split too, but yeah, Villante.
Fucking horrible. Villante's fucking horrible. I don't care. Villante's
not the greatest.
Probably one of the worst fighters on the roster. Like, he even says in interviews he doesn't like to move his head, which is, go fuck yourself. Like, are you stupid and shit? Pat Cummins should be able to take down Herman rather easily and get win like that. 'Cause Pat Cummins ain't that good either, but I think he's good enough to beat Ed Herman. How about you, Gib?
Again, I think both these guys, like I said, are kind of up in the air. Either of them could definitely win. Ed Herman likes to throw lots of counters as he walks backwards. Bit of a slow kind of walk that he does sideways and back. But he really is pretty decent on the counter punches. Beat up Gian Villante every time he missed his first singles, and is any sort of big right hand. Ed Herman has a nice counter, especially when he walks backwards for a left hook, or he has like a lead left hook and he wants to lead left hook and go into his jab. But Pat Cummings, man, I really liked this guy when he first came into the UFC. I kind of liked his WWE type storyline where he kind of beat up DC in a really weird like wrestling match, and they brought him in off of rumors alone. And I'm like, oh man, there's no way. And he ran into the ring with DC. The entrances looked great, and he got fucked up in the first round, got punched out. But since then, I mean, Pat Cummings actually had some pretty decent, like, fights especially with Jan Blazkowicz getting a majority decision over him, as much as it was a little hazy. Beat up a really top guy who after that went on a crazy winning streak. He did have a split decision with Gian Villante, and he actually got that one, whereas Ed Herman lost that. So I just put him a little more over Herman because of that, as well as just his grindhouse style and constant wrestling. I think in terms of Pat Cummings, he's a bad matchup for some people. Just that wrestling, that boxing, he tends to surprise a lot of people. So I got Pat Cummings, but I'm not exactly sure where he's supposed to go from here.
Yep.
Or either of them if they get a W.
That was good. 2.5 minutes. We're fucking killing it. Trezano and Grant Dawson.
Yeah.
I'll let you take this one. You can start it off.
You know what? I'm not quite sold on Mike Trezano yet. I mean, I think he's great. He still is holding his 0-loss record for the that Ultimate Fighter season, and he's really showing that he's come out of that that Ultimate Fighter 27 season one of the best, pretty much cream of the crop. Beat Luis Pena and even beat Joe Giannotti. They were split decision matches, and I thought Joe was very close to beating him. The amount of wrestling that Joe did to Mike Trezano tended to ruin him up against the fence. But after battling back and going to the floor, Mike Trezano actually started to throw some submissions up, some leg locks. They traded some positions, and it didn't seem too bad. They were both kind of going around, and they had to respect each other. He's got the Tiger Schulman's leg kick to prove it. I do like his right leg kick to people's left side. I think he uses that pretty well. But I think he's had a few split decisions, and I think that might It might be because of his gas tank. It's pretty decent, but Grant Dawson, on the other hand, I mean, he throws together some pretty nice single strikes. You can get a takedown really easy as well. The Adrian Diaz fight tends to be a bit difficult for him on the stand up, but once he got it to the floor, he was able to throw it on the elbows in that one. He takes a few light strikes on the floor, but I mean, he goes for Kimura in that fight as well. Really looked really nice. Got pretty good choke, and he locked up a rear naked choke on the fence there in the second round. Sorry, and I think he's pretty decent on the ground as well. So yeah, I think Grant Dawson takes him. I think Mike Trizano's been getting 2 Ws pretty difficult. So I think Grant Dawson might be able to take advantage of this.
Okay. Tough fight for me to pick, to be honest. Dawson's looks fucking. A lot of people are hating on the kid. Says he doesn't have a lot of very good stand up, but I don't know, man. He's good. He looks good to me. Powerful wrestling, very strong grappler. Not the smoothest in transitions or anything like that, but he's good. You can tell he's done definitely some wrestling before and stuff like that. Sorry. Yeah. My dog's killing it right now. Okay, still got 2 minutes here for this breakdown. Yeah, pretty much. Trizano should kill the stand-up department, right? It should be Trizano all day, giving him leg kicks, body kicks, and then the 1-2. Dawson looks like he's gonna have to push that pace, probably grind Trizano up against the fence and look for takedowns, and then do his work on the ground there. If he's gonna win, I'm gonna go with Dawson as well. I think Dawson has it. I think he does good here. I think he's gonna, because he looked good against Julian Rosa. Like Julian Rosa ain't that good, but
yeah.
Grant Dawson looked pretty fucking good, and then he was in trouble at some point. Was it? I don't even know if it was that. Who's the kid he fought on Contender Series? What was his name? Adrian Diaz.
Yes, in the very beginning of the fight.
Yeah,
but he ended up tapping him eventually.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like Grant Dawson here, so I'll go with him. I think he has enough to get it done here. Okay, so next up, we got
Pereira.
Oh yeah, Michelle Pereira and Danny Roberts. I'm actually looking at that right now. I want to see, fucking. You think someone gets a knockout here?
You know what? I don't hate Danny Roberts' chances on the stand-up, but Michael Pereira definitely can crazy move him and win in like a second. Just pull something out of nowhere.
Yeah, I could also see it going the distance though. Fuck, going all 3 rounds because Michelle Pereira's doing crazy shit and Roberts doesn't really want to interact with that. Okay. I probably got Roberts in this fight though. I said on Twitter too earlier in the week that I have Michelle Pereira no matter what, but I'd like him to win for sure. But man, he leaves himself so open.
Yeah.
He for the counter shots and stuff. He's got really bad striking defense. And I can see that guy getting disqualified, to be completely honest. He does so much stupid shit. He does the stupidest shit in the octagon. You can't do moonsaults off the fucking.
No.
That guy's doing moonsaults and shit. You can't do that.
He is. But it's how he got there. It's how he got to the UFC.
And then he's giving people drop kicks and the fuck is this?
To be honest, he has to now keep doing that because that's what they paid for.
I don't know. I kind of want to do it, but it's a temptation there. But my gut's telling me not to. I was going to play the fight as a go to decision, but something's just telling me not to. Yeah, I got Roberts.
Okay.
Like I just think Pereira's a little bit too sloppy at times. He could like, bro, if he really just focused on not doing the crazy shit, like
Or saving it.
he's got some nasty striking. To be
Yeah.
honest, like it's not bad at all, and he could do some damage with it. I think, but I got Roberts. I think, and if Roberts chooses to wrestle with Pereira, like I think Pereira might be in a little bit of trouble there. He doesn't look the best, like the best grappler.
They were pushing each other at the weigh-in, so this is definitely gonna be a personal fight in the first round.
Yeah,
I think.
So I got Roberts.
Looking at this fight, when I first started watching, I immediately almost thought that that Pereira would win off of one of those crazy moves. But going into a few of Pereira's fights, even some of his losses, he does miss a lot of these backflips and a lot of these crazy things. And against Dae Soon Kim, I remember he was jumping off the cage at whatnot and kind of missed some things, and it wasn't exactly on point until he can really get that crazy knee in and go and backflip onto side mount, and I mean this guy's doing all the best moves from the create a wrestler mode in your video game, and he's going for crazy sweeps and cartwheels and jumps. But the problem isn't, you're gonna have to keep it a lot simpler and have your basic really quick strike link in with other things so you can rack up combos, whereas this guy's really looking for one big move or one change of pace to start winning. And Danny Roberts, like you said, those crazy things scare him off. He's not going to really stay on the inside with people like that. And in a fight where I actually thought he'd lose against Enkamp, he actually kicked his head right off. It was coming off of a really bad head kick knockout over against Nordine Taleb. And when I was looking at that fight, it just didn't seem like a good one for him. But going into that, he pretty much gave him a head kick right back. And not only that, but he's got some good boxing, some decent rough and tough clinching. On the ground against Claudio Silva, he didn't do very good, but when he did get up, he did feed Claudio Silva some punches that almost rocked him out of the fight. It was a good thing Claudio Silva got the arm. I think he ended up tapping him in that fight. And, Danny Roberts definitely walking away from that one a little banged up, but I do think he does have the striking advantage in this one. And if this fight doesn't go to the ground and Michael Pereira doesn't have a big move to put him there,
you got to kill the last 2 seconds. Go.
If Pereira doesn't have a big move to put him there, I think Danny Roberts walks away with this one by decision, just getting pieced up with basic stuff.
Okay.
Danny Roberts.
What's next? I'm lost here. Des Green and Charles Jourdain.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go quick. Des Green, second play on the parlay with Julio RK. I had to grab him before he fucking hit like 1,200. I think I got him at 550. I don't know, something like that. 5 something, and he should blast through this kid, man. It's in his hometown, right? He fought not even 2 months ago. But he said he was going to take this fight regardless. Like, this is I don't know if it's the first time UFC's been to Rochester, but they don't go often.
I would take another one if I fought Ross Pearson.
Yeah, and he finished him super quick in the first round, so it didn't really fucking. It's not like he put his body through anything.
Why not?
Yeah, so he took this fight against Charles Jourdain. Jourdain's usually a 145. I fought his last fight at 155 for the vacant TKO lightweight championship. Pretty much Des Green is just gonna out wrestle this guy like a scrub. And Jourdain's actually pretty fucking good. He's got some good stand up and shit.
They call him Air Jourdain.
That's a sick fucking name.
That's the best name.
Oh, that's a sick nickname. Yeah, he's got some pretty decent stand up. I don't know where he trains or anything. It wouldn't surprise me if he trains at TriStar though. But just on the ground, it looks like he's going to be in a lot of trouble, especially against a guy like Des Green, who's just like a fucking animal wrestler. And his striking's really coming along now, too, working with Henry Hooft and all those guys down at the Combat Club. Yeah, I got Des Green all day here. I think he's it'll be rather competitive on the feet. I think Des Green's going to be the bigger guy. But it doesn't bet. Des Green's fought at 145 before too, so he's not. It's not a huge size advantage. But Des Green should take Jourdain down rather quickly and rather easily. Maybe not rather quickly. Maybe he'll wait a little bit, but it should be pretty fucking easy to take him down. To be honest, I saw him get taken down like very easily, and like doesn't work. He throws up the armbar and shit from guard, which most guys do, right, to try and get out of being on the bottom. But other than that, he doesn't really know what to do on the ground. So I got Des Green here, and I got him in that 1.5 unit play.
Yeah, Charles Air Jourdain, man. This guy has some surprising strikes. Gets really fancy with his kicks, and I think he combines his distance and his speed pretty well. He's pretty good at jumping in with his left hand and uppercuts off of that. I always like to see uppercuts, and again, like he throws a lot of knees, throws lots of clinches. He goes into a lot of clinches, so he can throw a lot of those knees and kind of rack up the body shots. Pretty much every fight he's had has been like a crazy knockout or some jumping flying knee or something. He got quite a bit of submissions in the amateur MMA scene, but then once he turned pro, just started getting the knockouts, and I'm sure he's capable of it, but it's going to be a little difficult with Des Green's wrestling. Des Green tends to have some big kicks and big hands, even though they're swinging, and when fighters run back, that's when they tend to get hooked in with something. The only problem is when Des Green gets in close and he starts to land these big like knee shots, he almost feels like they're too small and they're not going to land, but people are wincing, and Green is just sitting there like, he doesn't even realize that people are hurt or backing up. So I think he's missed a few opportunities in a lot of his past fights. It's good that he got that Ross Pearson knockout this quick, especially since he can jump into his hometown and get a fight here too. It's going to be a tough fight for him still if Jourdain wants to stay with kicks and Des Green has to wait and possibly stumble into something. But I do think Desmond Green has some good stuff, and he's great at tripping people when he's going for takedowns to finish them. And he's great on fighters who want to run forward, and he gets that finish when he wants to, especially if he hits people and does realize, oh man, I just clipped him with a little shot that made him hurt a lot. So I think Des Green could get this one. It's in his hometown. I hope he gets it. So yeah.
Okay. Boom, 10 seconds. Aspen Ladd for Sijara Eubanks is next. I don't know, man. I'll be super quick with this one though. First fight, Sijara probably not dominated, but they did better in the grappling. Aspen better on the feet. That's pretty much what I think is going to happen in this fight too. Aspen's pretty not hard to take down, but I don't know, man. It's actually a closer fight than a lot of people think, though. Like, Aspen's a pretty big favorite, and I think that's a 2.
She lost to Aspen Ladd, eh?
Yeah, but like I don't think that was both like a while ago,
early on,
2 years ago, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Aspen again. I think she beats Sijara again. But oh man, her ground and pound is so vicious, Aspen. I didn't know she had that many wins by a finish like that. She pretty much finished all her fights except one, and the one was Sijara. I got Aspen though. Aspen's just fucking tenacious, bro. She doesn't stop when she's on the ground. If she gets into mount or when she goes with that ground and pound. But I don't see her doing that to Sijara. Sijara's super strong.
Yeah.
And this is at 135 now. Yeah, because Aspen missed weight for 135 before, I think. Yeah.
This is for 135. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I got Aspen here. I think. Well, she's gonna, in my opinion, she's definitely gonna outstrike Sajara. But
Oh yeah.
I think she's gonna look better in the grappling exchanges too. So I got Aspen here. Yep.
I can see why you have Aspen for sure. She really impressed me in the Tanya Evanger fight. She was able to pretty much do the exact same thing she did to her last opponent, and just go for that mount and start screaming onto the ground and pound. If she has your back, or if she just kind of rolls into you and starts to go from side, it's gonna be real tough for you. But I think Sajara Eubanks has a pretty good body for it. She's a lot smaller. She's a good wrestler generally. She's got a good high kick that she was able to use to drop Roxanne Modafferi in their fight. And Roxanne was kind of bothering her with a lot of her fast and kind of awkward shots. They did tend to pile up, and I can tell that Eubanks was a little bit, concerned that Roxanne was landing a lot of these shots when Sajara was just kind of walking around or kind of bouncing. And that's really when you have to smack her up, because when she's working and when she's moving forward and when she's really barraging, Sarah Eubanks would be very difficult to take down. She's got a good tackle takedown, and she was able to get that on Roxanne Modafferi. She's got some pretty dangerous chase as well. She likes to really chase people to the fence and make them float there. She battered up Lauren Murphy. She just has a bit of a energy drop every now and then, and if Aspen Ladd takes advantage of her on those energy drops like she did in the first fight, she can definitely beat her up, possibly even the same way she's beat up her last two fights, and get her on the ground. I know it'd be very difficult, but if she can kind of cook her and wait till those late rounds, it could happen. But definitely no chance of it happening earlier, as Eubanks is a pretty difficult wrestler to deal with. So I think I have Aspen Ladd as well, and I think she gets this possibly the same way she got it last time.
Okie dokie. Artichoke. I don't know why I'm so fucking tired today. I've been so fucking tired recently too. I look like I'm dying. Main card now.
Yeah. Davy
versus Austin Hubbard. And let me just tell you super quick, this Hubbard kid's gonna do good in the UFC. Probably not gonna win this fight. I don't see him winning this fight against Davy Ramos. I got Ramos actually in a play with in that parlay with Des Green, RK, and Ramos, and then one more play in the card. I think you guys all know what it is. It's looking like a super chalky parlay, but I like it, to be honest. It's dangerous to do those ones sometimes, but fuck it. Hubbard fucking looks pretty good though. Looks pretty good against Harvey Park. Looked good. I thought
his cross counters are insane.
And then he looks nasty though. Like he's got a pretty good stand. Oh fuck! I didn't reset the time, so it's going off now. Okay. I'll put here. I'll say we talked for a minute already. 4 minutes. Looked good against Mota there, right? Where he knocked him out pretty much at the end of the fight. There was like 15 seconds left or some shit. Knocked him out, or finished. Did he knock him out, or was it just? It doesn't matter. It was a TKO. It was a knockout regardless.
Knockout.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty impressed with this kid. Like his only loss was to that guy Eric Wisely, who was gonna fight Gilbert Burns not too long ago. And that guy looked pretty, like, not fucking super legit, but he looked pretty good.
He's 33-9, man. It's not bad.
Yeah, he used to fight in the UFC.
Makes sense.
He used to fight in the UFC. He lost both his fights in the UFC, though.
Tough fight, though, man. Charles Oliveira.
Yeah. Charles Oliveira, obviously, super tough fight. But he lost to fucking Jason Young. That's not a good fight. No. That's not a guy you want to lose to. What? Robbie Peralta. I remember Robbie Peralta. Yeah. I'm already taking too much time here, but Ramos should be able to get Hubbard down. I don't know if Hubbard's a 155, but I think he is. I'm almost positive he is. I think so. But Ramos is like his name says, with the Tasmanian Devil. He's actually got some pretty nasty stand up. And then once he takes you to the ground, that guy I'm pretty sure is one Abu Dhabi and shit.
Yeah.
So his grappling's unbelievable, and like when he takes your back, his squeeze is so fucking tight. But see that squeeze he put on John Gunther?
God.
Gunther, and I think John Gunther is absolutely horrible, but
he's tough as nails.
He's tough as fuck. Very tough fighter. Very, very tough fighter. And he does not like to quit. And Ramos had him in that choke for a while, man. The squeeze was getting so tight, you can see it. And yeah, man, I got Ramos all day here. I think he's going to do the same thing. I saw Hubbard get taken down. I want to say against Harvey Park, but I'm not sure. I think I saw him get down. Oh, fuck. I might be talking about my ass, but I'm pretty sure I saw him get taken down. And, I think Ramos would be able to clean that up rather easily and sub him. So I got Ramos here in the parlay. Gib? Sorry, bro. I left you fucking 1 minute. And, yeah.
Austin Hubbard, man, this guy is a pretty dangerous cross-counter dude. If you stand there and you're trading with him, he can hit you with that other punch or that third, fourth, fifth punch that gets thrown in the exchanges, and he looks for good mounts when he's got people dropped or wobbly, or especially when they back up. When he gets people up against the fence, he likes to work the body punches and uppercuts so that people can curl up and he can take their side or take their back. He's good at lifting people up and slamming them. Fakes for shots a few times, fakes a punch and goes for his shot, or fakes a shot and goes for his punch. Kind of like a switch wrestling type boxing style. Uses it pretty well. Not very many kicks from him, which is why I think what I think he needs against Davy Ramos to keep him a little bit farther away from him. He does not want to get clinched up by this guy. Like you said, this guy's a Abu Dhabi world dude. So I mean, if you get taken down by him, you get super deep hooks in like he did to John Gunther, and that choke is going to be on you. Because when he takes people's back, he's very patient, but he does seem to transition really fast when he makes the choice. And once he takes people's back, you got to watch out for when he rolls, goes for his body triangle. And this guy's real badass, man. He lost to David Rinkos a long time ago, who's killing it in Bellator. And I mean, that was one of his losses, but at the same time, like since then, he's been doing amazing. Only really lost to Sergio Moraes, and I think he beats Austin Hubbard the same way. He's got great jiu-jitsu game, and he's got a pretty good stand-up game as well. A big overhand bomb that he throws, and he's very fast coming forward with his feet. So I think without a good leg kick and with only body shots and punches, I think Austin Hubbard is kind of lacking some weapons in that. But I do think he wins his next fight for sure.
You don't even know who he's fighting.
Well, like after this one, because this is a tough fight, man.
Okay. Oliveira versus Nik Lentz next. This is the third time these guys are fighting, man. The only reason I didn't play this, I was gonna play Oliveira, but obviously the two paths of victories here, right? Oliveira sub, or pretty much tuning up, and Oliveira looked good. Now the stand-ups look a little bit more crisp, so it looks like he can do some damage on the feet as well to Lentz there. Lentz is one of the kings of grind, though, bro. That's a really good wrestler, to be honest. Never subs when he had a takedown, and probably one of those scariest guillotines. He just catches everyone in that guillotine. I got Charles here. I think he'll be able to pick apart Nik Lentz. Nik Lentz is getting older too, and after that, he should be able to sub him probably. I think he'll get Lentz down and throw on a submission. He's got like 13 or 14. I think 13 subs Oliveira in the UFC, like the most ever, which is insane. But I got Oliveira here. How about you, Gib?
Nik Lentz, like you said, Not bad, man. Does oddly well against guys who are fancy and like to go for jump kicks or punches. Because when they miss, Nik Lentz has a nasty head kick around the corner waiting for you. This head kick goes right over people's shoulders and almost comes downwards and strikes the jaw or something. He really switches stances on people and can fire hooks and kicks from both sides. I like that as well. A bit of a hop step, but it really benefits him when people are moving back, and the pressure that he can put on people almost makes people stumble. He's just gaining distance so quickly. A good jab, a good cross and uppercut combo that he likes to set up as well. But he really likes to spam the kicks, the middle kick, and a good 1-2 for pressure. Whereas we all know Charles Oliveira, crazy submission guy, as well as some good kickboxing. He does get pretty reckless when he does throw strikes, but he has a lot of basic strikes, lots of jabs thrown in there to kind of keep things calm enough that he can set up the big stuff. Very good at sweeping people, especially when he can get at people's ankles, and he'll do like an ankle kind of sweep up against the fence. Really good at power bombing and slamming people, and really good at getting the rear naked chokes and taking the back and guillotining as well. Not only Nik Lentz. So he definitely has been hurt a lot before, especially on the stand-ups. But once he gets that takedown and the engine starts to fire, man, he can really push people down on the ground, keep them there, and latch in those submissions. He was one of the only people to not lose to Jim Miller, and Jim Miller's been going on a killing spree in the first round as of late. So he didn't that fight didn't even shake him, and he just beat Daniel Tamer. So I think he does pretty well in this one, and we'll see what happens. But I think Charles Oliveira gets this.
Okay.
Vicente Luque.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fucking restart the clock for this.
Oh, all good.
Yeah, Luque versus Derrick Krantz next. Okay, good. You know what? This was, I guess, because Luque versus Magny was the co-main.
Yeah.
And then they changed it now to Shoeface and Heinisch, which I do like.
They should have put Nik Lentz and Charles Oliveira higher on the card then.
No chance. Lentz is horrible. I don't give a fuck about watching Lentz. They should have put Michelle Pereira and Danny Roberts on the main card. That's 100%. That's
yeah.
Like instead of Megan Anderson, like. Okie dokie. Yeah, I already just burnt the whole minute and we haven't even talked yet.
All good.
Luque. Okay, Krantz, first of all, pretty, not horrible, but literally not the best striking I've seen. Like, just wings his punches a lot. Lots of power behind his punches, and he's looking to grapple a lot. Wants you against the cage. That's what he likes to do a lot of the time. But he's a guy who will like throw down and brawl with you too.
Yeah.
Fucking good fight if you go watch him versus Derrick Campos from back in the day. Pretty fun fight that is. Yeah. I'm just looking at all his wins and stuff. He's not horrible, right? Krantz,
no, not at all.
Not horrible, but like this is a fucking very tough fight for him. Krantz is a 155 for 2. Don't know what the fuck his last fight was at. Well, he's fought at middleweight. What the fuck? I thought this goes a 155 or it's a 170, right? Okay. I don't know how the fuck this guy made 170 in like a few fucking days, but literally made it in a few fucking days. But okay. That's even better, to be honest. Like now, I think Luque's gonna kill him for sure, because this guy's all dehydrated and shit. Luque's actually got a pretty good fucking chin too. He ate that spinning elbow from Jalen Turner
My lord.
right on the chin and it ended up finishing him too. And he's got some dangerous jiu-jitsu. He's so fun to watch, Luque, man. He's awesome to watch. Should definitely get a finisher in my opinion. Definitely winning the fight. And he's the last play on the chalky parlay. We got him at like before he turned fucking 1,300. I got him at like 700 or something. But yeah, he's the last play on the parlay. I just don't see anything too good about Krantz, especially beating a guy that's a top 15 welterweight in the world right now.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing that. So I got Luque all day here. He should really tune up Krantz. How about you, Gib?
You know, we've talked about Villante Luque a lot on the podcast, and like I like him just because of a lot of those reasons, man. He takes those spinning back elbows and just really hard shots that you see that, man, that took setting up. And he walks through them like they were nothing. And whoever threw that is immediately out of options. And, you know, once Luque starts to pace on people, start to throw punches, man, this guy's jab, left kick, right hand could be the only thing he needs. He's a great boxer, I think, and he takes out some of the best. Dropped and beat up Belal Muhammad in one round, but normally that guy can grind people out. And Derrick Krantz has a pretty good grind style as well. I watched this fight with Ben Newman and how he was able to put him up against the fence a lot, beat him up with the boxing, and just keep him always on his back foot and playing defense, playing catch up. And when it did get to the middle of the ring, he was able to put some good boxing on him. And he was able to do it at his own pace. He has a good step in left hook, and he likes to go with the overhand hook as well as the body shots. I mean, not very many kicks, but man, this guy's pressure is still pretty wicked. And I don't think Luque needs very many punches to get dropped, especially after the accumulation of a lot of these big strikes. But I do think Villante Luque is just in general the better guy. He's been around a little bit longer, has taken out some really high level boxers like Chad Laprise, and I don't know. I just think his stand up and striking is pretty good, especially for the counters.
Time's up. Go for last 5 seconds.
So yeah, I think Villante Luque more than has enough striking to take out David Krantz, and yeah, I got Villante Luque in this one.
Okay. Next up, Megan Anderson and Felicia Spencer. I'll save you a ton on the clock for this. This goes to the ground. Felicia Spencer all day.
Yeah.
Stand up, Megan Anderson all day. I think Megan's gonna knock her out because Felicia looks pretty bad on the stand up, not totally comfortable and shit. And Megan Anderson's very big compared to this girl. Very big.
Oh yeah.
Very big. So I don't know if she could get taken down for sure, but I don't know. I got Megan Anderson here. I think she might knock this girl out.
Yeah, like you said, Megan Anderson cannot blow that reach advantage that she has. You know, that's the one thing that she really needs, especially in most fights. She got great counter strikes and she's got some amazing kicks. Kat Zingano threw a nice kick against her, and she was able to avoid it and come right back in and go for counters, not letting people kind of get away with it. And she jabs people up against the fence, gets people in really bad positions, and looks for finishing combos in the first round. The only problem is Megan Anderson tends to tire herself out when she throws too many combos, and that could be bad. And she has gotten into some bad spots because of it. Whereas Felicia Spencer, not bad amateur. She sneaks in a lot of good hooks, and she's got some decent ground game as well. Again, if she gets you in mount and gets her grapevine hooks in, she can really keep you there and just kind of control and beat you up from the top. But her striking just has not really been too good, at least not that I've seen against anyone high level in terms of opponent. She hasn't lost yet. I think Megan Anderson is probably one of her highest level striking opponents, and she might have a bit of a difficult time. I think Anderson is probably had enough fights with some high-level grapplers, so I don't think she's extremely new to this. And I actually think she does pretty well against Felicia Spencer here. So, yeah, okay. I got Megan Anderson as well.
Okay, beauty. Co-main event, Shoeface versus Ian Heinisch. I got Shoeface here. Probably. Yeah. I'm still debating, but I'm almost positive I'm going to throw him in a parlay with Trevor Giles and fighter in the main event there. Um, there's a little fun one there. Let's see what I could win. Do like Shoeface though a lot. I think he's. I think it like I obviously seen Dan Kelly finish Shoeface, but bro, it takes a fucking lot to finish Shoeface.
yeah.
No, it takes like
that was a
ton.
desperation move that he pulled off too.
Oh, he was getting murdered in that fight, eh? Like
you're right.
Like that's fucked and shit. I don't know, man. I've seen Ian Heinisch taken down against Sumter. Sumter probably took his back a couple times. Mutanti, I think Mutanti's taking him down. I'm not sure though, but didn't take his back. Who's that other guy he fought? Marcus Perez.
Marcus Perez. Now it's
Marcus
way back
Perez,
LFA.
Yeah, finished him too. Yeah, man. Shoeface gets on your back one time, it's pretty much game over. Like he's won world championships in jiu-jitsu at super heavyweight, which is fucking ridiculous.
That's the beast of the beasts there.
I've heard he's around the ATT gym, he's probably the best grappler in that gym. Pure grappler. Probably the best pure grappler in that whole gym. At Colby's up there, obviously, and shit like that. But like, I don't know. Shoeface is fucking. Everyone's told me that I know from like that's legit trained with him and shit like that. Even some guys at our gym, Gib, and all of them have said the same thing.
Wow.
He's just a monster to work with. When I interviewed Colby Covington last year, he said the same thing. He said like it's probably the best jiu-jitsu he's seen. He's just a fucking monster, Shoeface. And don't get me wrong, Heinisch is good, but both their striking is not anything to be amazed about. To be honest, they're both guys who like to work on the on top. And if this goes to the mat, I got Shoeface all day, so I'm gonna play Shoeface in that play, and I got Shoeface, Antonio Carlos Jr.
Yeah, for sure that the key to winning for Antonio Carlos Jr. is definitely taking the back. Heinrich just does not have that defense in him, possibly just from that position. Might be a little slow there. He's got a pretty good arm bar when he does go for it, and can get some good arm triangles and some good submissions if he gets other people on the floor. But Antonio Carlos Jr. is somebody who can kind of live there for a little longer than most. But I think Ian Heinisch's big advantage here is the stand-up. His feint, jabs, and knees are going to be really big for him. I think if he lands some good knees in and really builds those up, he can do something good. He had a nice shoulder trap submission on Lucas Rota that I always like looking at. You don't see it very often. Pulls it off. He's got like a loose and flowy kind of style on the stand-up. Lots of feints, and I don't like how he kind of laughs at missed punch attempts. But I mean, if he does that against Antonio Carlos Jr., Antonio Carlos might land a big one. Antonio Carlos Jr. might not be the best striker, but he does tend to land every now and then. He locks up his famous rear naked choke that he's been able to get pretty easily. Obviously, Tim Boach, not the most top quality of opponent to take out, but he did take out Jack Marshman before that, who's a bit more impressive than him. So he's got the grappling, man, and I do think that he could land a few shots on the stand-up that might be enough for him to kind of roll into something. It'll be a tough fight for him though, for sure. I think Ian Heinisch's gonna be feinting him all day, but man, once he gets to the ground, I just don't think Ian's gonna have much of a prayer to help him out there. So I think if Antonio Carlos Jr. takes a very tough pace, similar momentum to his Marvin Vettori fight, I think he should take this.
Time's up. Beautiful. Okay, last fight. Boom. Okay, RDA, Kevin Lee. I got Kevin Lee. Probably gonna be in that parlay with Shoeface and Trevin Giles. I just think we've seen RDA, bro. We know the path to victory here. RDA's got some nasty striking. Fucking very good striker. You guys saw what he did to Robbie Lawler. Uh, he's just devastating, bro. He's still good. And looked good at some points against Usman before the takedowns and shit like that. But like those guys just ragdolled him on the ground, man. They fucking Usman handled him really well, and then Colby did the same thing. I don't know how people thought RDA won that Colby fight. I have no fucking clue, but Colby won that fight fucking for sure. And Kevin Lee at 170 pounds, I think that guy's gonna be super strong, bro. I don't think he's gonna worry about his cardio at all. Like the mauling he put on Edson Barboza is one of the fuck. Like he beat up Barboza worse than Khabib did.
Yeah, he felt bad. He was feeling bad throughout the fight, apparently.
He fucking tore him apart, bro. If he does that, I don't give a fuck. He can do that to anybody at 155. Maybe not anyone, but at 155 to 170, like a lot of the top fighters, Kevin Lee can do that too. So I could see him doing that to RDA here. Probably getting a finish, maybe choking out RDA with that rear naked choke that he likes. He loves taking the back, Kevin Lee.
Yeah.
But just has to be mindful of that striking from RDA and know when to shoot for those takedowns and stuff. But I got Kevin Lee here. I'm probably gonna play him as well. How about you, Gib?
Yeah. Kevin Lee, super strong wrestling. As always, going for great takedowns and having some decent boxing to keep him in the game as well. He might take a few kicks to the body. He took a really nice one against Magomed Mustafaev, and it was really early on in his career. He took like a big body kick and then had to kind of shake it off. But he did end up winning that fight, and you know I remember reading that he was looking up a lot of Khabib stuff and kind of started to pace his style very similar to that. And in doing that, he was able to really rough up Edson Barboza when it hit the ground. Obviously, the stand-up was a bit of a difficult job for him. Edson Barboza was able to throw some big kicks that had Kevin Lee dancing almost. He was doing the stanky leg a few times.
Yeah.
But RDA, I mean, he was one of my favorite fights with Anthony Pettis, because Anthony Pettis was almost like just killing it at the time. Every title defense was just easy for him. RDA went up against this guy and just did not give an inch. Had kicks in his face, throwing bombs. Pettis could not do a thing. Now, obviously, Pettis doesn't have a great, crazy wrestling ability, but RDA was definitely able to tone him down on the stand-up and make those mid kicks to the body work, which I think could work in this Kevin Lee fight here. If he can keep mashing those high kicks, mid kicks, and circling, oh my God, he can do some real damage here, as well as some punches. Obviously, a bit of a slower fight with Robbie Lawler. Kevin Lee is not Robbie Lawler. He's going to be moving a lot faster and a lot stronger. And also, when Kevin Lee gets to the floor, I think he's going to be passing a lot. He's going to be keeping RDA, on the floor, kind of stumbling, maybe even going for that supporting arm that Khabib tends to go for when people try to base or something. RDA is going to have to really use his jiu-jitsu on the floor and get those body shots in early, punch, grab them, and really get into those knees and kicks to the body. But I just think Kevin Lee has a little bit more than him in this fight, so I got Kevin Lee by pretty much pure wrestling, and I think he wins this similar to the Edson Barboza fight. He might take a few shots, but I think he'll bully through and get in there.
Yep. I think so too. I think it'll look a little bit similar to that as well. So that's the breakdown. Absolutely murdered it. Under an hour for sure. 5 minutes for each breakdown there. Next week is Gustafsson versus Anthony Smith in Sweden. Morning card. I think it's like 10 o'clock in the fucking morning. But yeah, we got that next week, and I'll throw all our picks and stuff in the description. Probably later tonight. I'll do all that. I'll put the fucking timestamps and all that good stuff. Till next week, guys. We'll see you. Quarter Pound Podcast. We're out of here.
Enjoy the long weekend.